I was actually up all night putting up my own flags.
Painting a very intricate Pakistani flag onto a mini roundabout.
That's right. That could be one funny thing. Another funny thing I just sort of been thinking of is like you could hang like labubus on those flags.
Yeah, proper English, like a labubu.
Or you could sort of like add another flag to those poles, but every day you change the flag. So you just basically like infuriate everyone.
Like Model UN or something.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
That's
today
right,
this street's going to be Sweden or whatever.
Yeah. Check this out. What if you put up a sequence of flags on your street in such a way as to fool an enemy into thinking it was a different street?
I've read Desolation Island. We can record that whenever, for the record.
I just like talking about naval stuff.
To amuse the enemy.
Of course.
Well, that's basically just the Shankill Road, right? Is you've got your Union Jacks, but then you've got your sort of your Israel flags, your Canada flags, sort of anything loosely associated, just to really add the confusion.
Yeah, just anything that, like, if a flag gets racist enough, then it starts going up, you know?
That's like, no, that's like the Premier League of flag racism.
We heard about the Uyghur genocide, and then we put up the Chinese flag.
You know what we could say? Like the whole England flags thing. I'm excited to see if they start putting up some other flags. You know,
well, I mean, this is the thing. Like, there was an article in, I think, The Observer by Rasheen Flanagan that I liked that was just like, it's creeping Ulstification, right? And she's not wrong. It is the fucking colonial violence returning to the metropole, right? Of like kind of your demonstration white supremacy flag.
You know what it is? It's Ulster times Washington January 6th, because mostly what they're doing is they're going to be like, we're just going to keep putting up flags and then kind of milling around and sort of trying to be kind of intimidating and annoying.
Yeah, one of those guys is, if not going to tase himself in the balls, then is going to fall off of a lamppost and be the first casualty of the war against woke.
And then Starmer's going to realize, he's going to be like, I need to take the cue from Trump, and I need, instead of waiting for Farage to give that guy a state funeral, I'm going to do it now. Right. The tomb of the unknown anti-woke soldier.
The unknown flag shacker.
Yeah, well, indeed. Although, hey, we still have the flag.
That's true.
Old Sky and Bacon.
Well, I mean, I'm a supporter of flags, as you know. I podcast every day in front of this flag, and that means that, you know, I support flags in the abstract, I guess. I'm a big fan of vexillology.
A literal case of if this flag offends you, I'll help you pack, because you are mostly packed.
So this is TF. Welcome to TF. It's the whole gang.
And the crucial detail there you're missing in a visual medium is that on my wall behind me is a massive trans flag.
Well, you much like you're like Keir Starmer, you sit in front of it every day.
That's right. I respect this flag. I think on it sort of fondly.
Oh, Papa, what? Please, I know we're going to sit down on the sofa to have dinner, but can we please turn on the television? No. We're watching the flag.
Flag respecting.
We're going to go and look at the motorway gantries and also the minute roundabouts.
So, Keir Starmer has said he hangs the English flag in his home and always sits in front of a Union Jack. It's like,
no, you don't, dude. And if you do, that's weird. But you don't. You clearly don't. And
always sits in front of a Union Jack. Like what? I want to understand the blocking of this. Like every time he sits, he's in front of a Union Jack.
That's a cape at that point.
Yeah. I was going to say, does he mean the flag's in front of him, or does he mean he's sat in front of it like as a backdrop?
I'm always swaddled.
I think he means that it's as a backdrop, but I prefer that this is
got
his
some
favorite
kind of
movie.
like frame constructed around him so that his back is always to a flag.
He's in the vac cube, but it's made of Union Jack.
I'm so annoyed. We were talking about Italy a moment ago, and I just said, I'm so annoyed.
I'm so annoyed.
I'm so annoyed that like the events are conspiring to force us to talk about the flags again, because it seems like everybody, like, again, we've talked about this before, right? When the great and the good of the British political media ecosystem agree that something is important, it becomes fucking inescapable.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably we could have gone harder on the time and and said, I mean, we did say this, but not as strongly as we might have done, that this is like obviously like a kind of Nazi stalking horse. And that's now become more and more apparent. Like this isn't a thing that got taken over by Nazis. They were always the ones kind of driving it. But it's of course tremendous and great that Keir Starmer is not just picking up on the flag stuff, being like, I love to kiss and fuck the flag, but also posting the kind of like, I also love deportations. Here's some footage of some people we deported earlier.
Well, he said basically conceding all the ground to Nigel Farage, being like, what if I was him? But if you're going to do that, if you're going to put yourself in the situation where you're trying to react to someone else and then make their sort of try and take their base while sort of cuckooing into their politics, then you end up saying stuff like, I'm quoting from him here, I'm very encouraging of flags. I think they're a great symbol of our nation.
It's just the classic kind of like, a flag is defined by Wikipedia as a kind of like drape of cloth embroidered or printed.
Bosh.
Also, like, I'm very encouraging of flags. I think they're patriotic and a great symbol of our nation. That's something that could have been said in 18th century France and would kind of have made sense. I mean, like, we should be a nation. We should have a flag. You could be arguing about that in the tennis court, I guess.
Very pro like Garibaldi Risorgimento.
Yeah. Well, ironically, he's sort of emerging onto a level of understanding of flags of the people who are putting the flags up, right? Because I haven't been on the podcast the last couple of weeks, but what I have been doing is driving around the country a lot. And let me tell you, they're fucking everywhere. But the best one I saw was George Cross, Union Jack, Trump 2024 flag in that order on a motorway gantry above the M25. And it's like, at what point, like, where I don't understand anymore. Like, why is it patriotic of the UK to support Donald Trump, a man who thinks we are like the dumbest, most cucked nation on earth? He's not wrong.
Yeah. So but this is beyond as well, right? What Starmer, because then we'll talk about the Starmer of it all, and then we'll kind of take a couple of different directions. We can decide between ourselves in a moment, but this also comes as Starmer as Parliament resumes September 1st because they're done summer vacation.
They're back to school. Everyone's passing notes in class.
Well, quite.
Just doing the thing of like, oh, it must be sick to be an MP. You get like 8 weeks off. You're eating milk tray everybody got you at the end of the term.
my mum got me these new Kickers trainers, and one of the bigger boys has already taken them off me.
What I did on my holidays by Sir Keir Starmer, Prime Minister, age 56 or whatever.
I watched the flag.
I also, he's continuing to do the flag is a great symbol of patriotism, such as for the Lionesses.
No.
You know,
yeah,
still doing
just
that.
Really kind of trying to like crowbar in women's football. Here's the thing, right? I'm trying to envision the person who thinks that Keir Starmer is right, like a gay globo homo communist Islamist, right? Who is like selling out our country to migrant rape gangs, but is persuaded in the heat of the moment by this like impassioned rhetoric to be like, well, he loves the flag. He loves women's football. Maybe he's not so bad.
Yeah, he says he watches the flag all the time, so he's just like me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe I will vote Labour.
Yeah, God. But so in all of this, he said that the Labour government's entering phase 2.
Phase 2.
I remember when the Queen was entering phase 2, and it got bad after that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh God, is Liz Truss going to kill Keir Starmer?
What happened is Liz Truss.
Hey, that'd be a thought.
Liz Truss thought she killed Keir Starmer, and then he came back with a second larger health bar, and so now you have to do phase 2 of the government.
She might have killed Trump. We don't know. Like,
he's looking great.
He's. I've sort of long been of the sort of tendency that whenever there's any kind of public health wobble about any public figure, I just go, dead. Died ages ago, government's not telling us. And the thing is, I haven't been right yet, but one day I will be. And there's always the time, they have to be lucky all the time. I only have to be lucky once.
I'm deader than anyone's ever been. They're saying, wow, it's incredible how dead this guy is. I walked in, they said, wow, he's so dead.
Like face down on the ground.
I've been speaking to Ricey, Cheeks, Morty, and Gibbo. They've all come to see me. They said, wow, Mr. President, you're incredibly dead. No one's ever been as dead as you are right now.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I forgot what I was going to say in Trump's voice there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You know what? Sometimes the spirit takes you and then leaves.
He's not going to say anything in it anymore because he's dead.
Well, that's true. Oh, I remember. That's Keir Starmer. Excuse me.
No one's ever been as dead as me.
I'm the seventh in a line of multiplicity clones of Donald Trump. I'm the seventh one, and that means it's like a photocopy of a photocopy, and that's why I'm me.
British Trump.
Yeah. But this is Tim Allen, Tony Blair's former press. Thank you. I queued you all up for that one, and you know what? You didn't disappoint. Tim the Toolman Allen, Tony Blair's former press secretary, has now been appointed as Number 10's fourth director of communications in a year. Yeah. That's going to do it.
More likely to call me the Toolman because he's fresh off the board of this like turf group Sex Matters.
One of the main ones. Right. That's like one of the big ones.
Absolutely. They're the ones pushing the like Supreme Court judgment. In fact, I think it might have been their lawsuit. So yeah, it's cool that the guy who like hates me and wants me driven out of public life has been handed this like poison chalice job of trying to make Keir Starmer likable.
The year of the 4 communications directors. If you're not familiar with those, that's Otho, Galba, Vitellius, and Vespasian.
So Vespasian, Tony Blair's transphobic former press secretary.
He's going to be succeeded by his son Titus.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately by Domitian.
So this is like the floundering we're at where it comes to messaging. Oh, the veepest thing of all, beyond the I actually sit and watch the flag every day, is of course the new pledge. Phase 2 has begun with a new pledge.
Oh, Christ.
Right?
Okay.
So think about it this way, right? The 10 pledges, that was like building hype for the series. Then Phase 1 began, and we had the 5 milestones, we had the 4 foundations, and the 3... We had 3 of something. What was it?
It makes you really appreciate how concise the Quran was, really.
So it was 4 missions, 5 milestones, 3 foundations, and I believe there were some pillars.
And a partridge and pear tree. Okay, sure.
I'm sorry, this has really sent me. How many different fucking things are they gonna have?
It's like different
everything
objects.
This government does. It's just like, how did you think that was gonna work? It's not even like it's like the fucking like I watch the flag every day. Cunt, what are you talking about? Like he wishes he could resign. I think deep in his soul, he just wants it to be over. He just every day he just gets up there and he just says a thing.
Just naming a different part of a building and a number and being like, we're gonna do I don't know, fucking like 20 staircases to growth.
I totally believe that they will at one point, if he doesn't get forced out by a catastrophic local election results, which are coming.
Wes Streisand going into cabinet like Zhukov in Death of Stalin.
Just being like, we're going to announce the staircase to growth, and then that's going to be our sash window to a better future.
Like a hail of gunfire, and BBC News starts playing Swan Lake all day, and then Wes Streisand comes on TV and is like, don't worry about it.
Right now, you lot, shut up. We're going to have 9 pantries for economic stability.
So the new pledge. So the first thing of Phase 2, because all of that other stuff was the prologue and then Phase 1.
That was like practice.
Yeah, that was just the off season.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it.
Yeah, that was all preseason friendlies. Now it's the big leagues.
Yeah. So that was Phase 1. Phase 2 has started with a pledge, which is, I hope that none of you have seen the language on this pledge. I've kept it from you intentionally.
Seen this pledge, no.
Okay, I'm so excited to share with you the first pledge of Phase 2.
All right,
does it begin with yo?
It begins with growth people can feel in their pockets.
You hire the transphobic guy, and immediately that's what he starts thinking about.
You hire Tim Allen, the tool man. And let me tell you, he's packing a tool.
Oh my God. Yep. Growth people could feel in their pockets. This is
that a growth you can feel in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me?
Do you think about growing in your pocket when you, et cetera, you remember the rest?
We're very mature political commentators here. In many ways, like if your party is going to be like DSA, we're going to be Jacobin, right? Like,
oh fuck! I have 2 really fun startups.
Before we do, I feel.
Do you want to talk about your party?
I do want to talk about your party a bit because here's the thing about.
What is your party if not like a startup?
It's your party, but it's not my party. Is the problem because Labour not the only people pivoting to a bit of transphobia, right? Because one of the independent MPs who got elected with Corbyn Adnan Hussein, is now in day 3 of like trans crash out, which is, that's predictable because there was never any vetting of who was standing or like who was gonna sort of get elected, because it was independent and because it was a protest vote against the genocide in Gaza. And so now you have this thing where it's sort of like people deciding your party is done, it's goose is cooked, it's basically over off of the back of this, which I think is a mistake.
Because of course Adrian Ramsey and Ellie Chowns aren't still in the Green Party.
Well, funny you mentioned the Green Party, because I mean it really just everybody loves to do this. Everybody's getting a bit. I think very likely to be elected deputy leader of the Greens, both in Ali, was like, okay, well I didn't sign any like pro like LGBT like pledges or whatever during the campaign, but that's fine. Trust me on this one. And is now like everyone being mean to Adnan Hussein is like Nigel Farage. So, and of course we have in the trans community our strongest, dumbest soldier, India Willoughby, sort of camped out in Adnan Hussein's replies, being like, well, what if I was racist? What if that? Which is very helpful. Thank you, India. Imagine naming yourself after the NATO phonetic alphabet. But yeah, so it's all tremendously frustrating. And I think it speaks to, in your party specifically, just this vacuum of leadership, right? Because it always has been, right? All of this stuff should have been sorted out sooner. There should have been a conference by now already. And ultimately, I have some broader thoughts about what that means for the left, but the short term, like, move on to the startup segment answer is, I think you have to, like, stay and organize in your party or in the Greens, whichever. Yep. I'm still agnostic as to which, but both of them require you to actually, like, organize against this. I just think that's easier to do in your party. So, yeah, if the your party, like, trans group could do that in a way that doesn't, like, leak everyone's emails to each other, that would be ideal. But it's early days. It's early days.
Yeah, I think you can probably say this is Britain. Yeah. The idea that there will ever be any kind of political party, especially where power hasn't already been consolidated, that won't have one of these things like in it, right? Whether it's sort of like anti-LGBTQ feeling, whether that's like, I don't know, lots of friendliness to landlordism, whatever. Yeah, sure. There's a power vacuum. It will be there. You're going to have to do something about it.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It needs to be stamped out, and I'm immensely disappointed with Corbyn personally on this. Yeah. But I think that's part of my broader beef with him at the moment is if your kind of role that you're envisioning for yourself is this kind of like emeritus leader of the left, then you need to actually do that instead of just kind of prevaricating.
Yeah. I mean, and these, it's, I don't know, it's like Zara Sultana she's there. She's like, she is a Muslim woman who wants to end the genocide in Gaza and also wants to prevent like the sort of eliminationist policy towards trans people in the UK. Yeah. That's right there. She's
Zara
right there.
Sound, give her the Xbox controller. That's all I'm asking. You know,
when you were asked which party should you organize, you said your party, referring to my party, when you should have said my party, referring to your party.
Well, name the fucking party. Oh my god,
it can't be your party forever. It's too. Ironically, it's two pronouns confusing.
Yeah, that's true.
They're already in a pronoun confusion. They can't have a second one.
I have genuinely. Whenever I hear stuff about your party, I'm just number one. I'm like,
wait, what's my party done?
just like, why are you bringing me into this for? I didn't do anything. I don't know, man. I don't know. I sort of just, you know what? Like, I'm trying not to be a doomer about all of this, and I'm trying really hard not to be a doomer about all of this. They're making it really difficult.
It's really bad to do all this on social media, apart from anything else, which is where it's all happening.
Yeah.
And like, if I have one criticism of Zara, right, in general, it's that she's too online. She knows who Big John the Bosch father is. She shouldn't know that.
Unfortunately. Well, that is one good point. I mean, the counter I would sort of say to that is that like the energy of like the right movement is also very, very online as well.
That's true. That is true. But it does make them very kind of like internally bickering, right?
Well, not exactly, because I sort of feel like to a degree, it's like, okay, well, the right's kind of new sort of political energy is very, very online, but it also is backed by lots of money from people who own platforms and who are in positions of power and also like an establishment that is very like much more sympathetic, or at least kind of like fits better on their side than, you know, ours. And so one way is like, you know, I don't know, because I do sort of think, again, it's like, I don't think the battle is necessarily won online, but I think that's more of my broader kind of contention of like, you know, one of the big missions of like any sort of serious left movement in the next 10 years is to sort of manage the brain rot. that's very difficult to articulate, let alone sort of build policy around. And so, it is a really, really big task. And I don't know like how it's going to look or what success looks like. And so
the first thing has to be do the conference in person, because immediately when you do that, you weed out all of the cranks on the fucking internet.
Mm-hmm. Well, any case, I look forward to seeing that happen because boy, would I sure like them to have their act together.
Yeah, could we play like a sort of like eardrum splitting volume thing of that one Canadian actor in Blackberry screaming, "Get off the fucking internet"? Can we just put that in right now? Is that a good thing to do to our listeners?
So I've decided we're going to go back to British news in a bit, but I've decided I am unilaterally going to do a double startup segment, and these are both different sides of the same coin. We're going back. We're having a double-double.
That's right. Canadian tradition.
It's the first one is Halo, not
Halo
Combat
Master
Evolved.
Chief?
Okay. Well, he's a pretty cool guy and doesn't afraid of anything.
This is the thing. You got to stop doing a second line that preempts the most obvious joke, because I will always go for the most obvious joke.
Yeah. What about Master CEO?
So Halo, your second brain seamlessly intelligent. So I've always wanted to have a second. Yeah, well,
it's called genes.
So your second brain seamlessly intelligent. Halo X are the glasses that give you superhuman intelligence.
Oh, okay. It's another one of these. Gotcha. Right.
Right.
It hears what you hear and automatically feeds you insights on the display to 10x your intelligence.
10x?
Yeah, you're 10 times smarter.
But here's the thing, though. Unless you're in a sort of very specific social setting, right? You're not going to be in a kind of like salon and somebody's like mentioning Rabelais and it pops up like, here's who that was, right? It's going to be like, your coworker being like, I heard on Joe Rogan, and then it's going to pop up some Joe Rogan, and you're going to be getting like 2 times speed Joe Rogan Chinese audio in the left ear. And then your coworker telling you something about fucking crystals or MMA in the right ear.
Yeah. What I'm confused about this is that it's implying that it's going to multiply your intelligence, whereas surely what the glasses are just doing is making you as smart as the glasses. They're not making you a relative amount of intelligent. They're making everyone who has them exactly the same amount of intelligent, because you're just reading stuff off the glasses.
It's a decent way of like cheating at a pub quiz. I'll say that for it.
Yeah. Which is Google Glass. This is Google Glass.
But it's just normal glasses, and it's got a heads up display. So the idea is as you say, Nova, if your coworker says, well, I heard this on Joe Rogan, you can immediately respond with Joe Rogan, a 5'8" former MMA commentator who lives in Austin, Texas.
Getting sort of like whatever is said to me, the Wikipedia page for it non-consensually beamed into both eyes at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just like a really great way to biohack someone's cyberpunk style. I'll just go up to someone and be like, hey, degloving injury. Bang.
Yeah. You've got the AI version of a Newsnight producer. You've got someone in your earpiece just like feeding you stuff.
So Halo instantly answers questions, remembers things that you forgot, and fact checks all in real time.
Emily Mateless simulator.
Now remember to have another B&H.
So, and it says superhuman intelligence under a second, but to the designers of this product, superhuman intelligence just means like being able to fact check someone talking to you in real time.
Yeah, which means if I see you wearing this in public, I'm running up behind you, clapping next to your ear and shouting wound dehiscence.
So, or I guess you could this is a little bit blindsight, but you could find the Wikipedia page that when it reads it, it causes your saccades to get very long, and then you could rob someone very easily. Just be like Giuseppe Garibaldi. Built for speed, Halo can respond to questions in less than 700 milliseconds. Try asking it, who's the VP of software at Apple? Or you can ask it a question. What's the fastest land animal? The fastest land animal in the world is the cheetah with a top speed of 113 kilometers per hour.
If it just supplies you this useless detail without you asking for it, this is just having an autistic friend, right? A thing which all of you already do.
Well, either that or it's useful in that situation where you end up going to a party where you don't know that many people, and so you end up just talking to the guy who's clearly on cat. And he's the one who's just what's the fastest animal? And you're the smart ass, so it's just the fastest animal is actually a cheetah. And he's just no, you fucking idiot, it's the pelican. And you've got to go into this argument about and he's gonna win that argument because he's on cat and you're not on cat.
You could view this as a kind of autopilot for bloke conversations, though, because someone starts talking to you about football, right? This thing shifts into football mode, feeds you lines. You never have to engage your brain. It's like, oh yeah, Arsenal always try to walk it in or whatever. Perfect.
Yeah.
I was going to say that one line from the show of the guy who
Peep
we don't
show.
like. Yeah, that seems to have been fine for most of us. I don't think you need to like develop it anymore.
I've just realized who's the perfect customer for these. Prince Andrew. Because I feel like Prince Andrew has gone through his life basically doing incredibly dumb stuff and not understanding what's going on. Like, imagine if we could go back in time and give these to Prince Andrew, and the first time he shakes hand with Jeffrey Epstein, it's like, this man is a paedophile. He'd have been like,
pedophilia is a sexual paraphilia.
yeah. Pedophilia is illegal. Oh, good God, man. Well, I suppose I'll go and play golf.
Well, that's still legal.
Yeah.
So it says,
For now.
never lose another debate. Get expert level answers instantly. I'm losing debates all the time in my normal day-to-day life.
I hate losing debates.
From complex problems to simple questions, Halo makes you the smartest person in any room, but it also reminds you of your calendar.
Doing the augmented games, the Olympics where you're allowed to take steroids, but for like high
UN.
school debates, yeah.
Yeah, performance enhancing my model. Because that's the thing. The form factor of these things, there's no indication that they're anything other than normal glasses. There's no light.
For too long, performance-enhancing drugs have been beholden to jocks, right? It's about time we got some nerds in there giving you the most like bad faith, sanctimonious talking point, like, you know, instantly.
The last nerd performance-enhancing drug I could remember was when that chess guy put the thing up his ass.
That's true. That is true. That was the last
vibrating butt
innovation.
plug.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't see a lot of jocks doing that, I'll say that.
That's right.
No.
Well, that not for performance-enhancing.
Well, Fallout.
Yeah, so yeah, that's right. If you try to be like the defensive tackle in the Hamilton Tiger Cats and you're not fully locked in, you're gonna fall right on out.
Just butt plug vibrating across the field at the 10-yard line.
Oh, this is a dark day for Canadian football.
Yeah. It communicates the plays to you.
Yeah, you can just communicate them by talking. You say stuff
I
like
prefer
blue
it this
force.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, the team is just completely silent.
That'll really Jones out the other team.
The defensive line is there. There's no blue 42 hut. Nothing like that.
Yeah, it's just like one of their legs is twitching a bit, and it's like, okay.
Hey, actually, no, this would be better in rugby. You know when the All Blacks do the hacker and you just have to kind of stand there awkwardly and like stare them down. The England team are all just like stood there silently, but you can like audibly hear their vibrating butt plugs going at high speed. They're just coming.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna beat New Zealand.
Yeah.
So it says, and then it says, for example, it can say, "Remember to buy Ashley flowers. It's your anniversary tomorrow." This is from an interview the founders did in TechCrunch. Our goal is to make glasses that make you super intelligent from the moment you put them on. Said Anfun
That's
Win.
not super intelligent. That's just being a better partner.
Yeah.
God, I wish I was Sigma enough to remember my anniversary.
No, you're too Sigma to remember your anniversary.
Oh, sorry. I wish I was Beta enough to remember my anniversary.
Betas, Sigmas like John Wick never remember their anniversary famously.
Most of what John Wick does is remember his anniversary. And the other thing that he does is like reloading really fast.
That's all that motherfucker does. The glasses give you, quote, infinite memory. And that's the thing is, all of these people were like gamers, right?
Yeah.
This is the Republic of gamers.
It says it gives you infinite memory. What it means is it gives you Google in your eye. Like all of this stuff, it's not making you smarter. It's just like, what if instead of having to look at your phone to Google something, your glasses Googled it for you? It's not making you smarter or making you remember shit. It's just Googling stuff.
And Google's getting worse as well. So you're just going to be reading an AI summary that's going to be wrong.
But that's the other thing. These because this is just a wrapper around Google Gemini, right? And it doesn't have memory. So where is the infinite memory? I don't know. But it says it's the first real step towards, and this is the phrase, this is why I picked this company, vibe thinking.
Oh, God. Okay.
To the tune of jive talking.
Yeah. What happened is you all took damage.
Back in my day, we didn't need a word for this. It was just called being stupid. I've proudly been that for a long time. I didn't need to like gentrify that.
So they say, this is an interview they did in Futurism. I think that we can make a similar development and like a similar evolution for actual thinking. It's like they actually are saying we've invented the sequel to thought, which is the glasses.
It's called thinking. They've invented thinking too.
They actually invented thinking too, like we predicted like 5 years ago.
Amazing.
I think that with an AI assistant constantly helping you, you can become way smarter. You'll know everything. You'll have all the facts at your disposal. But we know that that's not true. We know that actually, like, so far, reputable studies have shown that, no, with an AI assistant doing all your thinking for you, you become dumb as a rock immediately.
Also, it's not really thinking, because it's like,
just recall.
Like, say that you're at the party and someone does sort of say that, hey, what do you think of like VP of Apple? And you're like, the VP of Apple's name is like whatever his his name is.
Tim Apple, yeah.
Tim Apple, obviously.
He's a paedophile, which is illegal. Wait, sorry. So I didn't clear the cache on this.
So I bought these on Craigslist from someone in SW1. But yeah, you're not really smart. You're just recalling stuff. It says you'll know exactly what to say and how to say it. And that's what I think vibe thinking is. It's not replacing. It's not making me dumber. It's empowering me to be able to say 10 times more things, 10 times more intelligently.
How to say it? Like, it just gives you the VP of Tech Apple, and then it's like brackets, say it Chinese. We're like, okay,
all right.
Glasses said.
We're going to go Chinese phonetically from my Halo glasses, and I'm saying absolute nonsense. I am speaking vibe Chinese.
Yeah. White boy stuns Chinese restaurant owner by saying that VP of Tech at Apple is a pedophile in perfect Mandarin.
Just sitting down, she's like, so noodles or rice? It's like pedophilia is a paraphilia character, right?
So we got a whole shipment of these from SW1.
Yeah.
Also, I like you. It's their argument. Their 10x smarter is you'll be able to say 10 times as many things. You'll be able to say so much more.
Wow.
That used to just be called cocaine, though, is the thing.
Yeah.
If somebody says a complex word or asks you a question like, what's 37 to the third power, it'll just pop up on the glasses.
Why would someone ask you that?
I don't know.
What are they, cheating on a math test? Like, what's going on?
Uber driver, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know what's happening at like Ayala's weird parties, but like,
yeah,
so, that must be the only place where someone is actually asking you that question
in like a social context.
Yeah, it's like we need to calculate the number of loads refused.
Yeah, can you please make a Sankey diagram? I'm envisioning one perfectly in my glasses. So while Meta's glasses have an indicator light when their cameras and microphones are watching and listening as a mechanism to warn others they're being recorded, Halo glasses do not have any such indicator to warn people that they're being recorded.
Wasn't that also introduced because of like laws? Like, didn't the law say that like, no, you need the light to like let people know you're recording?
It sounds like you're doing a lot of vibeless thinking about this.
Yeah. Why don't you ask your glasses that same question? Or are those dumb glasses for idiots that don't make you say 10 times as many things? We need to all do the podcast wearing the glasses. So really it's just one pair of glasses talking to itself.
Kind of unethical at that point in terms of what it's going to do to our brains. You know, like we actively knocked 10 points off our IQs for the sake of an hour of podcasting.
The founder said, we trust our users to get consent if they're in a two-party consent state. And that's all they had to say about that.
Okay, sure. Well, I guess we're not worried about it then.
During an interview, TechCrunch asked if the glasses knew when the next season of The Witcher would come out. Responding in a way reminiscent of C-3PO, Ardafio, one of the other founders, said...
homosexual?
The Witcher Season 4 will be released on Netflix in 2025, but there's no exact date yet. Most sources expect it in the second half of 2025. You genuinely talk like an AI summary.
My vibrating butt plug tells me that it will be released.
He then followed up, I don't know if that's correct.
Amazing. Great. Perfect.
Right. So, second startup. We had Thinking To. And we're doing another startup that's two sides of the same coin. I've known about this one for a while, but they only just got enough funding that like enough people are paying attention to them that they've had to publish more of what it is they actually do and how their thing actually works. Right. So I've been wanting to talk about them. Actually, since we did that episode with Wendy Liu about the Frontier Tower in the Bay Area.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, because she was there. The founder of this company was in that tower at that tarot card party.
Yeah, and if you'd have had your glasses on, they'd have told you that.
Yeah, that's right. So, it's called Archerai.
Can you have a more pleasing name to say? Like,
can you use it in a sentence?
You sum it up in a word?
Yeah, actually, I can. Well, I'm not going to sum it up it's two words. The first one is vibe.
Sound.
Ugh. Can you sum it up in a Mr. Bean style vocalization?
Ooh.
It's a good bean. Surprising.
Yeah, it's a top bean.
Yeah.
It's, you know what? As beans go, it's the Chicago, Pinto, and then that.
Yeah, strong bean. Bean's a runner.
Bean's a jumper. Yeah. All right. Archerai. Explore the universe of you.
Okay.
Archerai's mission is to help humanity remember and unlock the power to express their authentic self.
Right.
So if the first one was vibe thinking, this one is vibe feeling.
Oh, no. Okay.
Vibes are for feeling, to be fair.
Am I thinking here like an AI mood ring?
As far as I can tell, it wants to be let's go into it. So they have some values. first of all. They say the power of value one, the power of one individual. We believe every single human is capable of doing anything, and in that they should be able to do whatever they want to do.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
So you need the app and the large language model to do that, of course.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we believe a large language model is capable of doing anything.
Well, quite.
And it will be piloting a kind of like meat puppet, though.
So authenticity above all. We are here to help empower individuals in expressing as well as acting in accordance to what is true for them based on their lived experience and sense of self.
Oh, this is a weird one. This is woke language. This is woker language that I've heard from a Silicon Valley startup in a minute.
It genuinely is.
I don't remember, because like now personal empowerment is not the vibe. The vibe thinking is the Palantir kind of like crush your enemies, right?
Win debates.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like this kind of like being your best authentic self thing is like, that's wellness. This is interesting to me.
Well, quite. There's more. Agency and expression. One should not wait or let fear consume their ability to express what they see, love, and wish to do. We prize action and expression and fight against suppression of the whole self. True expression.
These guys it's poorly timed, right? Like, I'm not surprised that they haven't been able to get funding until now, because it's just kind of like they need to wait for woke too, right? They need to wait for the resurgence where like McDonald's is tweeting about like trans misogynoir or whatever again, because that's the kind of environment where you can kind of exploit that stuff in a corporate way. Whereas now it's just like, imagine bringing this to like anyone who's like a Trump guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think you'd need to, you can't make this an AI grindcore, never sleep product.
No, because that's about not taking care of yourself deliberately.
Or anyone else.
Well, yeah, sure.
In fact. So true expression means making your internal world model real, whether through science, art, relationships, or daily choices. So basically, it's a sort of jargony way of saying live authentically as yourself through this large language model. So they explain it a little more. Nicole Singh said, at Archerai, we aim to computationally architect internal world models and higher order cognition. I've realized we've only been building half of intelligence. Everyone's focused on logic, reasoning, optimization, but they've forgotten intuition and the internal landscapes that shape how we see reality. Through my own deep introspection, I discovered that the mechanics behind this aren't mysterious, and in fact, they're mappable, systematic, and understandable.
A little bit of tech mysticism here. Okay.
Oh, certainly mysticism. It's basically what this person is saying is, I thought about it for a bit and I realized that what we might call the soul is actually algorithmic and it can be represented algorithmically.
Okay. Well, that's good news. Okay, sure.
And again, also, it's like what you all these things that you're talking about, like your inner world, things like emotional intelligence, relationship intelligence. That's not just stuff that like is there waiting to be modeled. Those are things that are created socially. You can't just model it in one single algorithm or one single model, one set of training data. The actual experience of individuals communicating with one another and then forming impressions of one another.
Yeah, and I mean, so it's also like mediated biologically, right? In the sense that you are kind of tied to the stuff that your like meat puppet is doing, right? And it's like it has effects. You can change it. It changes stuff back, right? Like I don't know. This is interestingly transhumanist to me, were it not handcuffed to the idea of a large language model, which, as we know, is bullshit. It doesn't work even on its own terms. It's almost as if there's something about this kind of mysticism that appeals to that is like very, very like vulnerable to the plausibility device, right? The thing that comes up with something that is just plausible enough for its kind of like, consumer.
Yeah, well, quite, right? I mean, you can also wonder how much of the introspection that led to I will be able to produce a paper that maps out the soul is done in conversation with ChatGPT.
Well, yeah. Do you think that because a large language model told you so? Like,
genuinely, it's like it's
part of a long tradition of kind of like mystical scans, right? And going back to like, I don't know, fucking palmistry or whatever, but just with the resources of the thing that is always able to kind of like convince you.
I wonder if these ideas began to be explored with a sycophantic ChatGPT model. And it just so happens that instead of being like a vulnerable person a vulnerable, isolated person, this just so happens to be a connected tech person in San Francisco who is able to get $2.5 million.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder. Maybe.
Yeah. I'm leaving my wife for my startup.
Yeah. Well, that's quite look, that's pure conjecture, right? Because we don't know, but that I feel like I've heard elements of this story before.
It's kind of worse if it's not true, right? If you actually just sat down on your own and thought, yeah, I'm pretty certain I can like diagram out the thing that makes you human and just hand that to ChatGPT.
Yeah, it feels as though, we've had crypto, and then we've had NFTs, and now we've got AI, and it feels like AI is the first out of the three that is like actively making people stupider rather than just sucking in people who are already a bit stupid.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so they say we are an AI consumer product and research laboratory dedicated to understanding and mapping the internal landscapes of individuals.
What's the consumer product?
Well, we will get there. We create immersive universes for self-discovery and conduct research to computationally model subjective internal world models and intuition. Step into Arkarai and watch your internal landscape come alive as a living, breathing universe that knows you. Your galaxy changes with each reflection and realization. Watch as insights become stars, thoughts reshape space, and your inner world transforms in real time. No two inner worlds are alike. Each person's galaxy holds patterns, insights, and creations only they can manifest. When you explore your universe, you unlock what you alone can bring to reality. So I think it's about being able to, if you give it enough information about you, but then again, that's just the information that you choose to present, that's mediated as though you're talking to another person, because this can only be communicated conversationally. But you're not talking to another person, you're talking to yourself. The only way you can actually find out about yourself is by talking to another fucking person.
So we've done some more of infinite jest then, is what we're saying.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, good.
So the consumer product is 4 realms with infinite discoveries. Journey through space is designed for every aspect of self-exploration. Every realm offers a unique way to understand and shape your internal world. The mirror, face your depths and find your truth. The mirror shows not just who you are, but who you're becoming. Here, deep introspection reveals the patterns that shape your reality.
This sounds AI written.
It does. Yeah. You know what it is? The mirror shows not just who, but who. That's AI.
It's hitting the thing where I can kind of feel the like sort of audio equivalent of my eyes unfocusing, where I'm like, this is too many words that are like slightly too generic and also slightly wrong here. And the thing is, that doesn't even necessarily mean that it is ChatGPT or whatever, because that's something that like it has in common with a lot of kind of wellness pitches, right? You can read the same thing on Gwyneth Paltrow's website as she tries to sell you like a kind of jade pussy egg or whatever, and that thing won't even tell you what chess moves to make.
You got to go analog, I think. You got to go back to Return with a V to the jade pussy egg of like 2018. That wasn't making us stupider.
At least it was something. It was a thing. Yeah. It was a thing you could buy.
That's true.
It wasn't doing you any harm.
Well, quite no. It wasn't. It was well, maybe. I don't know. It wasn't harming you in quite the same way. Maybe
it wasn't doing any harm in the abstract. If you're just letting it sit there, like.
So the void, where all thoughts are possible. All thoughts are already possible.
Yeah.
They're all. You just you can think and feel already.
Turns out.
God, maybe they can't.
Yeah. Maybe this is for like philosophical zombies. That's the thing. The glasses, the vibe feeling thing are what you would use if you were a philosophical zombie desperately trying to seem human. And it would all be very, very off because you'd either feel or think in sequence. It would never happen at the same time. So the void, where all thoughts are possible, pure potential, neither boundaries nor judgment, just infinite space for your mind to expand. Unfiltered thoughts flow freely, revealing possibilities you never knew existed within you. The bridge. Navigate life's crossroads with clarity. This space transforms confusion into clarity, helping you see through complexity to find the choices that align with your authentic self. That's the thing that feels like it's the most I can picture what it is. I feel like the void, I think the void is just, and like the mirror is just, you tell a large language model a lot about yourself. And the large language model has some kind of emotional, self-reflective, element to it, or if there's alleged to have that. And then it models your personality, not just the things you think and the things you know, but how you feel and how you would feel about certain things and what you value. And then it says basically, we know you better than you know you, so we will just make choices for you, and they're choices that you would align with. It's a bit like letting a horoscope page genuinely take over your life.
Great. Perfect.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Some quotes. I've never felt more alive and reassured about my capacity to feel and love. You should check out Arkarai. It's honestly a breathtaking piece of art, and an emotional journey of self-discovery you won't regret.
This is a great way for all of the dumbest people on earth to like philosophically zombify themselves. And my only problem with it is that it's like spreading to others.
Yeah, again, Peter Watts really did get a lot right.
These are like the quotes that they give of like reviewing the movies that they're going to see in Seinfeld. Oh, you've got to see it.
So, traversing the universe through Archirai has reinvigorated my lust for life. Wow, never had an app make me cry before. The way the AI correlated my future dream goal with my favorite memory blew my mind because it's something I didn't really pay much attention to, and that just kind of made me realize on a deeper level how much it means to me.
It's just like, how susceptible are you to a kind of bunch of platitudes about like striving or whatever?
All of these people would have been perfect marks on crossing over with John Edward.
All these people would have been perfect marks for anything.
Yeah.
Like these are the people chasing after the snake oil cart as it's leaving town.
Well, it feels like these are people who are like being introduced to the idea of like feelings for the first time. And it's just like, oh, like I'm sort of experiencing like stuff that I've never experienced before. And it's just like, yeah, that's just called like remembering something.
Yeah, I'm thinking. It's like I'm thinking, but it's not to do with the SATs. I don't get this.
Yeah,
that's odd.
I'm not even thinking about what yachtsman is to regatta as to, you know.
I'm not thinking about 37 to the third power, nor am I thinking about the fastest land animal or what is a crime.
I'm thinking, but it feels kind of gay.
So they only have 2 FAQs. Only 2 Qs have they been A'd.
Okay. How
is my data protected and stored? And where can I send feedback?
That's not so much of a good Q.
Yeah.
Why don't you just give me the ace to that first FQ?
Controversial data and messages are decoupled from personal identifiable information. We do not read, sell, run, trend on, or manipulate your data. We just want you to help discover yourself.
That's not a good answer at all. Because, like, what if, as everyone who uses a large language model is stupid enough to do, you go, I am, here is my full name. I live at, here is my full address. My social security number is, here is my social security number. Here's the most embarrassing thing in my life. Please help.
Here are all the crimes I've committed. Please help me.
Yeah.
Signed P. Andrew.
It's weird that he was such an early adopter. But yeah, you can't decouple that meaningfully, right? You can't anonymize that. So
they also just said your constellation is totally unique to you.
Yeah.
So you're just and it all has to be tagged to some anonymous
that
token.
Can't both be true, right? Either it's all coming out of the same pipe of slop, or you are holding records about like all of the shit that I have asked the fucking AI palm reader.
Yeah. And even if they hold all those records, but they anonymize them in the way that they say, they have to correlate them with one another so that the AI knows that these things are correlated together. And if they're correlated in a way that cannot all be reverse engineered, then like 3 or 4 data points of just like non-emotionally relevant information is usually enough to identify someone from a group of a quite large group, right?
Yeah.
So all what you're doing is you're saying, don't worry, we've tokenized your identity. No one will be able to figure it out just from all the stuff just from all of the like incredible amounts of personal sort of things you've poured into this language model. No one will be able to reverse engineer that.
Oh, well, that's me satisfied.
Yeah. Hey, maybe I should send feedback or a bug issue.
Don't worry, we've tokenized your identity is also what your party is telling me.
I did want to talk a little bit about some of the UK news bits, but I also had an article I wanted to read. So the only thing I'll say on the UK news bits, number one, as I've said before on the show, I do have someone who I know who is, let's say, a source. In the Labour Party.
A highly placed source, some would say.
Yes.
Angela Rayner.
Yes, Rayner. And this is very government of the UK related. I've been putting off discussing this, but as you know, I like my numbers. I like my finance and stocks and bonds and so on. I like looking at them because they're fun little systems to follow.
Oh, it's Rachel Reeves.
Yes. You may have noticed that UK 30-year bond yields are spiking to their highest point in like 30 years.
Question.
Yes.
Isn't that the thing that ushered Liz Truss out of power in a hurry?
Yes. The circumstances were a little different because there was also the pension implosion that would have happened at the same time.
Okay, sure. But it's not what you would call good news.
No.
It's not like a sort of promising sign for growth, right?
I would say after the November budget, if they don't get it under control, there's a good chance it brings down the government.
Oh, Okay, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, sure.
Yeah. I don't know who else would come in necessarily. I haven't looked at the opinion polls recently, but who can say? But yeah, I think there is I think there's a chance it brings down the government. And I asked the person who I know who sort of talks to all these people all the time. Hey.
Yeah, and he was telling you about like the fastest animal.
And also being weirdly transphobic. Yeah. I don't know why you keep talking to that guy.
He's like, well, the thing about Keir Starmer is he's a pedophile, which is illegal.
he kept on prompting me to sort of ask him for numbers in really weird ways. Like, I guess it's my round again. What does beer cost again? 83 pence to the fourth power? Maybe? Yeah, I don't know if that's true. Don't tell me. Yeah. Don't tell me at all. So basically, the question I had was, so what's their plan? What's the November budget plan?
I mean, I'm probably just gonna put a lot of it in savings. But
Oh yes, every year there's a few months where we get a lot of free laugh lines from this. Yeah. So thank you for changing your name.
Generous to call that a laugh line, but yeah.
So what my person says to me is that the bond traders are right. There is no plan. The current Labour Party plan, the current government plan, despite the fact they said they're in phase 2 and they already have a new pledge, is ostriching.
Okay. Well, it sounds like
is that a sex thing?
Maybe they should have a plan. They should get a plan.
It's hard.
Make a plan.
But the thing is, a plan would require them to raise... they can't borrow anymore, really. And a plan would require them to raise revenues, which would require them to probably increase meaningful taxes or look at things like wealth taxes.
Well, obviously, we can't do that, you know.
Well, no, because when we changed non-dom status, 1 million millionaires went on 4-day trips to Dubai and then came back.
I remember Rachel Reeves, another kind of pronouncement emerging from under the Lego here, to say that maybe they were going to start putting national insurance contributions on money made from rent, like profit landlords make from renting. That was a very kind of tentative, that was the stirrings of well, maybe we can kind of put the hat round to the government, make some more money here. And I think the logical question that followed from that was, okay, how do you stop landlords from passing that cost on to tenants and crashing the economy? And the answer was, that's a tough question. That's a difficult question.
Oh, asking me about the flag again. I know the answer to that one.
Oh, I love flags.
I love the flag question. It's so much easier than this.
I also have a highly placed source, by the way. And from that highly placed source, I've learned...
On K. Starmer.
It would be funnier if that was true. I've learned 2 things about Rachel Reeves specifically. And since then, Trash Future Podcast has gained the capability to, I think this is earnestly true, break a story that will hurt Rachel Reeves' feelings if I tell it. So up to you whether I pull the trigger on that or not. The other one is just that she gets the bob touched up weekly, which is just very funny to me.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's a good detail. This other one, this is more of a kind of it's a funnier detail, I would say.
Okay. Well, how about this?
Getting the bob touched up weekly like someone who's an aide to the Kennedy family.
So here's what I would say. You say it, and then we will beep it if we need to.
Okay, illegal. That's fine. So I don't know if you know this is a while back, but Angela Rayner's chief of staff was getting married, right? He is now married, right? But so because it's Labour, everybody knows everybody. His fiance was in, I think. You can beep all of this detail, right? Angela Rayner's chief of staff is going to get married, and that means
to the listener it sounds like boop boop is going to get boop.
No, you can include this to it. So
Angela Rayner's chief of staff is going to get fucking whacked.
Angela Rayner's chief of staff is going to get married, and that means it falls to Angela to organize the hen do, right? And so what they want to do is they want to go for a meal, they want to go for some drinks, right? Have a party, just do like a hen night. Because everyone knows everyone, every senior Labour woman, in particular, every female cabinet member is invited to this.
Ooh. I mean, Phillipson's a real party animal.
I mean, here's the thing. Except...
Oh, no.
Except for Rachel Reeves. And not only are they not inviting Rachel Reeves, they try to do it in secret without telling her. In Leeds, which is where her constituency is, and inviting her sister, who used to be Angela Rayner's flatmate.
No.
And so, by all accounts, they earnestly pull this off, right? Like they do this hen night in the middle of Leeds. Everyone has a great time. And Rachel Reeves never hears a word about it purely because she is that bad of a hang that every other woman in labor is willing to commit to a conspiracy of silence that excludes her from going on the piss with them.
Oh my God. They literally did the No Rachels Club from The Simpsons.
And when I heard that story, I knew instantly that I would have nightmares about this happening to me for the rest of my fucking life.
You have to believe that it's like not possible, right?
But
you have to believe.
Here's the thing. It happened. I know that it happened. I can say to a certainty that this happened. And the other funny thing about this is because they're all, like MPs, they're all cabinet ministers, they've all got like close protection, right? So they're all of the like close protection officers, they all know each other. It's kind of a night out for them as well, except for Rachel Reeves, who have to A, sit it out, and B, not give a hint to their boss that anything is happening.
Oh my God.
Wow. I just love the idea.
Like, hey, you invited Ellie Reeves to the hen party. She's minister without portfolio. And it's like the No Rachel's Club. We're allowed to have one.
Inviting her sister, but not her. And her sister knowing and agreeing to like keep that secret.
Wow. Yeah, I just love the idea that it's taking place in Leeds, which is Rachel Reeves' patch, as though there's going to be like Rachel Reeves heavies on the streets that they have to avoid. You can't be in Leeds without kicking up the Rachel. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, God.
Yeah, that is the story as I heard it. I don't, as far as I know, that's never gotten out anywhere. And this was like some time ago. So I'm willing to be like fact checked on it, but I believe my source on this. And here's the thing. I don't know if this is the kind of thing that like people who actually trade in political gossip don't do because it's like beneath their notice, or if they don't do because it's the kind that like burns your bridges instantly. But either way, I know about it and I'm not a journalist. I'm not promised to like maintain any kind of relationship there. So that's just right into the record is Rachel Reeves ostracized from hen nights. And that's a little treat I can offer the listener. I don't know if there will be any other gossip I'm ever allowed to hear, but it was worth it.
Absolutely. I mean, well, you know what? Hey, maybe there's like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer thing, and she's going to absolutely pull a blinder, do a perfect budget. Bond yields are going to go back down, and they're going to be like, all right, Rachel, why don't you come do shots with us?
Oh, Rachel Reeves coming back to the office on her birthday. Nobody's noticed. She's like really depressed about it. Flicks on the light. Huge surprise party. The Rachel Reeves redemption arc.
We do have the most Eeyore-ish chancellor, I think, in a very long time.
I think I've managed to just tell a story that might earnestly give her depression. If I heard that story about me, it would send me to therapy, genuinely.
And also having to listen to this far into the podcast to get to it as well.
Oh yeah.
She's waiting.
Time to tune into my favorite podcast for a big the podcast where they slag me off on a bi-weekly basis.
No, just trail that up front. Put that in the description. Nova tells a story about Rachel Reeves that like would change her life if she heard it.
I wonder if that anecdote being told on this podcast will set off a chain of events that brings down the government a little sooner.
I genuinely did wonder when I heard it. I was like, because I did clear this. I was like, can I say this into a microphone? But I don't know what the consequences of it will be. Maybe nothing. 99 times out of 100, nothing. But
you know what it was? It was like a reform advisor got word of that and has spent years cultivating you.
Yeah. No, I think what it is, what's more likely is that's in someone's filing cabinet and I'm just going through, I'm just tweeting it out, you know?
You're just going through all of the fucking burn book that all the parties have on there.
If you work in opposition research, if you work in the whip's office, right, just send me shit that you want to get rid of and I will say it into a microphone. That's a promise.
To be fair, I don't think the reform guys would post this story. I think they would consider it beyond the pale, because I think as people who've spent their entire life not being invited to parties, they would have a lot of deep empathy for Rachel Reeves and they'd be like, you know what, that's actually not funny.
Yeah.
We may disagree with her politically, but we feel you, sister, on this one. You're welcome in reform anytime.
Yes, that's right. The Chancellor her without a plan, and unfortunately without plans.
Yeah.
We can say.
Well, at least we know she's not getting distracted by a lot of social engagements, right? Like,
she can buckle down.
It's like, oh, sorry, the chancellor's actually not working on the budget because she's been hunched over listening to the most depressing Spotify playlist you've ever heard in your life.
She replaced her parliamentary photo with like the punished anime character. Out of number 11 was heard Elliott Smith's 1995 self-titled album on repeat.
I feel like she's like sort of more of a passive aggressive person, like the type of person like secondary school who like if they weren't invited to the party, their like MySpace name or like whatever social media name will just be like having a great time, just thinking about life.
The other thing is, no one comes out of that story well, right? Like everyone, because like everyone who actually went to that, no matter how bad a hang Rachel Reeves is, comes across as a snake, right? Like,
well, yeah, I mean, they're in the Labour Party.
Well, exactly, right? Like,
because, but again, yeah, as you say, no one comes off well because and also it's like, wait, you didn't plan to have two hen-dos, one like with that you have to have for work, and then one with your actual. That's the problem. They're all they have no lives outside the bubble.
That's true.
Yeah. If you had if she had a life outside the bubble, she would have been perfectly able to have two hen-dos, one for work and one for fun. But guess what? You didn't.
So you just have one hen-do and don't invite all the people you work with, because that would be mad for a hen-do.
I would say so.
There's not even any need to have two hen-dos. It's just acceptable to not invite everyone you work with on your hen-do.
No, you need to have 40 people.
There is an appendix, which is that Liz Kendall was also not invited, but like, I don't think she cares is the thing. I think Rachel Reeves cares profoundly.
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Oh well. Hey, we have to stop before we cause a stochastic event.
Genuinely just stunned by the kind of your punishment for being a bad hang is you do not get to go on the lash with Shabana Mahmood, right? Like you don't get to hang out with Bridget Phillipson. We don't think you're cool.
The exact combination of things. It's not just you don't get to hang out with like the Labour frontbench women. It's that a podcast will talk about it.
Yeah. I want to see the Netflix drama of this, where it's like intercut Bridget Phillipson like fucking doing a Jaeger bomb stood on a table in a bar with like Rachel Reeves just like head in hands over a laptop as it just says Bond yields fucked on the screen.
You know what we need to do? I think we can make the sequel to Scoop. We need to give this to Mateless.
Yeah.
All of them are talking like this. We can't have her at the hen-do. She's a terrible hang.
No, we give this to Mateless, and then Mateless gets to the bottom of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Interviewing them.
You know, I think
tips to hi at November Kelly, and it's a period before the last LY.
Prince Andrew being interviewed by Mateless going, "You're a paedophile," which is illegal. He has no bloody glasses on the blink.
Reverse cast.
Yeah.
What could he have done differently in that interview? Go in there before she even asks a question.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Can you prove me wrong?
We gotta go.
Shows.
Oh yes.
I'm on UK tour with How Revolting, Sorry to Offend. I'm coming to like most major cities in the UK. So if you live in one of those, I'll probably be there. But in September specifically,
Leamington Spa.
Almost. I'm in Maidenhead on the 6th.
Oh wow.
I am in Cambridge on the 21st. I'm in Oxford on the 25th, and I'm in Cardiff on the 28th. All the other dates are on my website, marloweedwards.co.uk/live shows.
If you've got a hen-do around about then you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Invite me and I won't tell Rachel Reeves. Also, my taping is in London on the 27th. That's of Sentimental. So there's still some tickets left for that.
Penzance.
That's right. We get very Cornwall Central here. Yeah. Red Roof.
Yes, that's right. Okay,
Newquay,
we gotta go.
Land's End.
Lake District.
I'm so hungry. I desperately need to eat something. I'm so hungry. I need to eat something so badly. We gotta go.
All right.
We gotta go. He's gonna be performing at Rick Stein's restaurant. We gotta go. Bye, everybody.
Right. Bye.
Bye.